America is becoming a very cold place. If you don't have money, you don't really matter much in our society. The ads on television aren't for you. They are directed at people that actually have good jobs and that can afford to buy the nice little extras in life. The politicians aren't really interested in you either. They figure that they can buy your vote with all of the money that they are getting from the wealthy people. When you don't have money, even friends and relatives start to distance themselves from you. Perhaps they are afraid that you will ask them for money, or perhaps they are afraid that your failure will start to rub off on them. When people know that you are struggling for money, the barriers immediately go up. In the United States today, there are tens of millions of people that have been forsaken and forgotten. They mostly stay at home, if they still have a home, and for most of them, quiet desperation has become a way of life. You won't ever read much about them or see them appear much on television because nobody really cares too much about them. As far as society is concerned, there are just way too many of them, and they are a problem that the government should be able to handle anyway. Sadly, the truth is that many communities all across America want absolutely nothing to do with those that can't take care of themselves. All over the country, cities are passing laws making it illegal to feed the homeless, and in other instances, cities are actually making it illegal to be homeless. Unfortunately, this problem is not going away. In fact, the number of Americans living in poverty increases with each passing day. So, where do we go from here? These days, a lot of formerly middle-class Americans are down on their luck and can't even afford to buy enough food. The following is from a recent Yahoo article. Cheryl Preston knows that others are worse off, but she's still hungry. As grocery prices creep higher and her income sags, rationing her family's food is a daily task. The 54-year-old mother of three and grandmother of three in Roanoke, Virginia, says there are days she skips meals so her husband and son can eat. If they notice, she says she'll let them think she's fasting. She waters down the milk and juice to make it last longer. She visits food pantries, but it's not enough. Have you ever had to skip meals because you simply could not afford to buy enough food? Have you ever wondered how you were going to make it to the next paycheck? When you look into the eyes of your hungry children and you realize that your best efforts have not been good enough to provide what they need, it can be absolutely soul-crushing. And when you have lost everything, it quickly becomes apparent that most people in society simply do not care about you. About a third of the country is already on some form of welfare. Another family falling out of the middle class and into poverty is not going to cause anyone to sit up and take notice. The middle class in America is being absolutely shredded. The decline of the middle class is real and that it is getting worse. But most Americans don't think about this very much because they are just focused on what is going on in their own little worlds. If they still have their jobs and if their family and friends are still doing okay, then they are likely to believe that everything is just fine. But everything is not fine. According to the Pew Research Center, 61% of all Americans were middle income back in 1971. Today, only 51% of all Americans are middle income. There aren't enough good jobs in this country, and there never will be enough good jobs ever again. Those that are just entering the job market understand very clearly that there are not enough good jobs. Of the recent college graduates that have been fortunate enough to actually get a job, about half of them have taken jobs that do not even require a college degree. But at least if you have a job, even if it is really crappy, you still matter in this economy. Many of those that are not working at all have been completely forsaken and forgotten. Over the past year, approximately 1.3 million Americans have seen their extended unemployment benefits end. Most of them are considered to have dropped out of the labor force. Even though they aren't working, they don't have any income coming in and they are very desperate. They are told to go to get a job in an economy that does not produce enough jobs for everyone. The music stopped playing and they were left without a seat, and nobody really cares too much. But if you live in the good areas of New York City, Boston, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, San Francisco, or Seattle, this article might seem like complete nonsense to you. After all, corporate profits are at an all-time high, and the stores and malls where you live are packed with people. Everyone around you is driving new cars, wearing designer clothes, and using the latest tech gadgets. But it's not like that everywhere in America. There are two Americas today. One is swimming in money and is seemingly more prosperous than ever. The other America is a complete and total economic nightmare. Just check out the percentages of blighted properties in some of America's most rundown cities. Baltimore, 14%. Cleveland, 19%. Youngstown, Ohio, 21%. New Orleans, 21%. Detroit, 24%. Flint, Michigan, 27%. But those that are paying millions of dollars for dinky little apartments in New York City may be wondering what all the fuss is about. Well, in the forgotten areas of America, despair is what people experience on a good day. Unemployment and government dependency are a way of life, and alcohol and drugs are used to dull the pain. The following is from a recent article by Chris Hedges. It describes what life is like in the little town of Gary, West Virginia.
Thanks for watching Kingdom Knowledge News.